Hello, and welcome to Morning with a Mentor. My name is Diller Schwartz, and I am your host. Please join me on Wednesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. while I interview top talent in our KW Austin family.
Actually, I work hand in hand with Google Calendar. I will tell you, Google Calendar also changed my life. Well, my name is Julie Galarraga. I am in the Northwest Market Center, and I've been in business for over 8 years.
All right, and do you have a team?
I do. We started the Elite Realty. We are currently 5 agents.
Okay, and are you hiring?
We're definitely always looking for talent, and we are pretty big on aligning with the right peoples. Our missions and visions have to align. I feel that's something I've learned through Keller Williams. I'm very grateful for that.
Yep. And so, guys, if you are looking at joining a team, remember this call is very open to that. All you need to do is either go to Julie's website or send an email. And please remember, we ask that you send limited number of emails with bulleted points so that we can get to your questions and answer them in a timely manner. And if you want to have that conversation with Julie after this call, remember your mission and vision and values have to align with hers. However, you're more than welcome to do that. We want to see you succeed. All right, let's get going. First question for you. What are your priorities today in your professional world?
My priority is building a team that is so strong that we're able to help and touch more lives through education, empowering, and excellence. That is what ELIT stands for. So it's building a very strong team that will leave a legacy. That's definitely one of my big missions.
Okay. And what does your lead gen goals look like? And maybe you're not doing as much lead gen because you're in a little bit more of a leadership role right now. Although if we were on your team, what are the goals today? Not this week. We're going to focus on the daily goal of lead gen.
So I believe it's very important that each agent talks to different teams, especially because each team is different. So my philosophy is connection. So I'm really big about connecting, not necessarily cold calling to generate multiple amounts of leads. To me, it's quality, not quantity. So for instances, out of one transaction, I got another 9. So it was just that one connection with that particular client that he just referred me to one person, another person, his kids, his mother, like everybody and their mama. And he went to work and started referring me. So I don't necessarily spend endless hours on the phone cold calling. That has not been my strategy. My strategy has always been connecting through social media and genuinely connecting with people, caring. And whether they use me or use another agent, I'm definitely okay with that. I feel definitely blessed. And when I share information with people or clients, they can see through that. So my lead generation is I wake up really early. I wake up around 3:30 in the morning. I get my workout in. There's actually
wait. Did you just say 3:30 in the morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you guys heard that. I think you beat Warren. I think Warren wakes up the earliest. So now you and Warren on the Papazon team have some competition for the earliest riser in real estate.
Well, I do believe it goes hand in hand. Taking care of your body, your mind, and yourself needs to be priority number one. And if people are focusing on putting like their business first, I believe you're gonna learn through the hurdles. That's not the way to do it. I actually did that at the beginning. I was just focused on like creating income and helping a lot of families till I realized that I waited like more than I've ever waited in my life. So I took a step back and realized, hey, if you don't have your body, if you don't have your mind and your spirit, you have nothing.
Right.
So when you connect with someone genuinely, they can see through you. Like it's like crazy. But I will say I start at 3:30. I wake up, I meditate sometimes. Sometimes I'm like running out the door to get to the gym, but I do about an hour and a half workout. I do like to incorporate runs because that clears my mind. Nike Run Club, if you have not tried that, it's a free app. Definitely, I would recommend it. Changed my life when it came to running and clearing my mind because a lot of chat in our mind. And then I get home, get the kids ready, and get my day started. My phone starts ringing like at 8 in the morning. And some clients know I wake up early, so they'll start at 7. But I will say I'm definitely blessed because I have created and built a business where leads come to me. I don't necessarily spend time calling. And
Perfect.
yeah, I
So,
do.
so you're more in the camp of you have to follow up though, because when people actually seek you out, I feel like there's a little bit of a higher level of responsibility because they're calling you saying, "Hey, you're a referral, you're in the top." And instantly they start judging on the way you respond, your timeliness, because we can't leave those voicemails that say, please, I'll call you back in 3 days, or, expect a call back in 48 hours. I call people and I'm like professionals and I'm like, man, I wish my voicemail could say I'll call you back within the next 72 hours. I'm like, that doesn't happen in real estate. So yeah, there's a higher bar that you have to perform at when someone's calling you and saying, I know that you're a commodity and I want to work with you.
Yes, and actually, I work hand in hand with Google Calendar. I will tell you, Google Calendar also changed my life. If you're not using Google Calendar, there's something about the Apple Calendar that's not as friendly as the Google Calendar. But anyways, I share with clients, and when I receive a call, I do my best to answer every call, but I actually set up an appointment right away. And I always let the client, okay, when are you available to schedule a meeting? And then I'll look in my calendar and I'm like, you know what? I can't do today around 3, but I can do at 4. But I do have like days that I work late and days that I don't work late. Like there's days that I'm done by 3. So I do set those expectations too for myself as well. Like, because I could work all day and night, but I've learned that that's not healthy either. You got to put like, if you have, for me, my late days are Fridays. So when people want late appointments, I'm willing to stay till 7. I will take my last appointment at 7, which means I end at 8. So I will take that last appointment from 7 to 8, but rarely do I schedule that late. But again, it's something that I give as an option to people just in case.
I love it. It's an option in Google Calendar. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Google Calendar. Everything's on there. Like sometimes I put on there just to remember to eat. Like it's on there. All right. Um Next question. Ooh, how do you know that you won the day? How do you know that you go home and you can have a clear mind, because that's important, and you won the day?
When I feel peace in my heart, there's this peace that comes in knowing that you did everything you're supposed to. You called, you made the calls you needed to make, and that you have the appointments and that everything is flowing. I believe when you have that peace of like, oh, you know what, everything's been taken care of, I'm good, then you can finish the day in a positive note, and then next day will be a lot smoother. Now, not every day is rainbows and butterflies. I've had to, I remember a few Mondays ago, everything around me, I had like 4 or 5 transactions. Something was going on with it. I almost lost it. And my parents were like, hey, is there something wrong? I'm like, no, it'll be okay. And everything does work out. And the next day, everything was fine. All of the transactions, people freaking out, they were going to cancel. I think one of them did have to pull, but long story short, everything works out. So when you have that peace in your heart, like everything will work out, it does work out. So
It does work out.
yeah.
All
If,
right. So this is my new question. So most of the folks on here have been coming and listening. So I get to throw this one in there for them. All right. So I was listening to this podcast with Gary Keller and Phil Jones, and Phil Jones said something that I thought was really, really amazing, that us as realtors, we call everyone our last client, our past client. You know, we reference my database, my seller, my buyer. The question is, what are we doing to make sure if that person is walking down the road and I were to ask them, who's your realtor? They say Julie. What are you doing to ensure that if I go up to your database or your friends, maybe you haven't even done a transaction with them. What are some tips and tricks that you're doing to make sure that person says, Julie, don't even talk to me about real estate. Like I'm loyal to Julie.
You know what? I know in real estate they call them database. We call them our bright orange familia. So everything is associated and around bright orange. So we bleed bright orange. Everything I have is bright orange. People associate a lit with orange, with the color bright orange. So when they'll send me a message, hey Julie, I saw these socks and I thought of you, or they'll buy them for me, or they'll be like, oh no, it's that bright orange like, yeah, Julie. So we associate ourselves with incorporating them, what they are truly to us. They're part of the bright orange familia. And it's every client is when we're done with the transaction, we welcome them into our bright orange familia, and it's actually an honor to be part of that. And not only that, I can say about 80% of my database I turn into first-time home buyers into investors. So most of them are on the 4th, 5th homes, and that is the goal. That is the lit gold. Create long-lasting wealth through financial freedom, and real estate definitely is one way. I live it, I preach it, and I show people how to do that. Not only me, the entire team. That's what we stand for.
I love that.
When people are not aligning, they find another path, and I bless them on their path. But again, if people are not in it to help others see the possibilities of creating that financial wealth, but in many aspects, like not just in one, not just for you, but for your children and your children's children.
Because what I'm hearing is your mission, vision, values, beliefs are not just on your team and for you. You're really wanting to bring people into your bright orange family and create, involve them in this. And I'm hearing this like longevity. And guys, I really think if you can understand this, she's not looking at this as transactional, like I got a buyer. She's looking at how do I create forever almost, and this will turn into generational wealth and generational business for her, and expand her team, if you will, because people are going to come back and they will. Although and you guys may be saying, I only have a database of 10 people, or I don't even know where my database is yet. Think a little bit bigger than that. When you do have the database, what is the message that you're sending? I know that Jana Joy and I have been kind of back and forth about her logo and her name, because she's got joy in it, and I was sort of giving her some feedback, because that's where my mind is for you guys as well. Don't think about today. Yes, you guys all need to wake up and think about what you're doing today, but also start working on what does this look like 5 years from now.
I do want to share something, Dillard, that before I even got my license, God in the universe, I know it sounds silly, but it was like, okay, this is going to be the team name. This is going to be the color. This is what you're going to stand for. And I remember going through my license, and people thought I was crazy, because I was like, oh no, yeah, my team name is Elite Group. And they're like, where's the rest of the people? I was like, oh, it's just me. I didn't have anybody. And then I go to Williams, and the people that I went to Keller Williams with which actually none of the people that I graduated with in my Ignite class are no longer in here. But long story short, they thought I was crazy. They were like, where's the rest of the team? I was like, it's just me. But the vision, and going right at what you're saying, the vision was bigger. And it's not, and the vision the vision was given to me. So I was able to see the vision through like bigger than what I could see. So I can tell you, I've gotten knocked down. We had 30 people. Now we're down to 6. So it's understanding and being okay and having a space of understanding for yourself, like, hey, it's okay. Sometimes you fall and you pick yourself right up. And I will say I'm very grateful to KW because all of the amazing agents, what you do, it's pouring into us. And that's definitely something I'm very grateful for. But I will say, going back to what you say, think big. I need to
Yep.
think.
Think big.
Mhm.
And it's okay. People may laugh at you. Who cares? I mean, I remember the day I thought, oh, in the next 5 years I want to own 5 homes, and then all of a sudden I bought like 12 houses in 1 year, and I was like, and it was all through the power of Keller Williams and the people I surrounded myself with who built me up and said, you can do this. It'll all be okay. And there's times I've lost money and there's times I've made money. I just had to take the risk. And I had to be okay with sharing my big thoughts and people looking at me like you're crazy. So, okay, here's my second favorite question. All right, we'll do a buyer.
Okay.
Let's go back, let's say 2 years ago in your career. 3 years ago in your career.
Okay.
You have to get one new buyer to sign a buyer rep and get them under contract in 14 days or less. What are you doing? Who are you calling? What are you door knocking? Are you doing open houses? Tell us what that looks like.
So I'll tell you, I love teaching, and I did not get a chance to teach my Ignite negotiate the deal. This last one, I was out of town, and I will give you I my breaking record signing contract in an hour and a half. First meeting, I always have a thing of meeting with people in person
Where did that person come from?
from my social media. For my social media.
Okay, so 14 days or less, she's going to run over to social media and then she's going to.
So just so you know, on social media, you have to have consistency. And people want to learn about you. They want to see the houses, true. But believe it or not, people just want to know what you're drinking, what you're doing. Consistency. Thank you for putting that. It's key. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do a video today and not do. No. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, whatever day it is. But this person reaches out. They're like, hey, I'm DACA. DACA is a certain. They're here legally, but definitely it's a little touchy if you don't know too much about that particular client. So he's like, hey, I'm DACA. I really want to buy. I heard that you're able to make it possible. I was like, oh yeah, we get it done. Let's schedule you an appointment. I'll never forget. Let's schedule you an appointment. He went to my office on Saturday. I went over the spiel of buying new and buying resale. So I will say understanding the market is key. So after I talked to him, again, that one sit down conversation, I was like, you know what? This is what I believe would be a good fit for you. I even let him know the community, an idea of how much he would pay monthly. Because again, I understand my market when it comes to new and resale. I'm a beast. So when I sat down with them, I was like, you know what? Your best option is buying in this community, and there's these floor plans. I'm going to go ahead and schedule an appointment with the new sales agent there. She's going to show them to you. I do have several appointments. So he was like, no, yeah, I'll go. So the meeting took about 30 minutes. He drove to the community and we were under contract in less than an hour.
Okay, I'm gonna actually redirect something real quick just because I want everyone to hear so that we, one, don't make any mistakes, and two, we learn from this. And I know that we are almost on our time. Okay, so you said, so that we all understand, when you have a client who's going to a new build community, we have some really interesting rules. We have some really interesting sales reps out there who don't always vote Go Realtor or aren't pro Realtor. Sorry. So how did you ensure, because you just sent your client somewhere, like you're getting a paycheck super quick, and you just said that took you less than an hour. What did you do? What is the best practice if you do that? Because it's totally okay, guys. You can tell your clients, hey, I'm going to call, I'm going to set the appointment. What did you ensure? What did you say? How did you make sure that your name got on that contract?
So I'll go back to the beginning of this call, connecting with people. And the thing is, I will tell you, every new community I go to, all of the sales agents love me. Not only do they love me, they know my team, but it's about wanting to learn about them. It's about being grateful to them. It's about and actually, I don't know, you're doing this mentor thing. And I would say every person that's listening to this call, whether it's recorded or something, the fact that Dillard is taking time of her life to do this, every single one of us should be so grateful that her email box and her whatever, like, it should be filled with gratitude, because people like her change the world. The world doesn't change with you saying, oh, I'm going to do this. No, it's with actions. She's showing up, and people can see that. So I do have very strong relationships with new sales agents. I can tell you the names of all of them. Actually, my team, every time they go to a new community, I let them know which sales agent is more prone to work with agents. And I'm also very connected with the agents, to the point that they let me know of special promos when they haven't even come out, or the new builds that are coming out. Like, there's information I know because they genuinely love me, but not only because of that, but I genuinely care. So
And
when
it's also like a good form of lead gen, right? I know that sometimes, like as a newer agent, well, even sometimes as myself, I just find myself like wandering around, like, what am I going to do today? My schedule's maybe not as full. This is a really great way to do lead gen and double down. Go get your social media video. Go get, I learned this term the other day, B-roll. That is not like a bee actually rolling down the road or a dead bee rolling down the road. That is like footage that you just take of random stuff.
Mhm.
It's called B-roll. It's not butter on a roll either. So you can go and like walk through these homes, interview the agents. You need like 20-second clips and just ask, can I do some social media? Everybody wants you to promote them. So you can double down on your lead gen right now if you're not really sure what to do, or maybe you don't know that much about tax rates and flood zones and the new construction. Go grab someone, bring some Starbucks and say, hey, can you walk me through your community and get to know them and come from a position of like wanting to be a little sponge.
Yep. And you nailed it, Dillard. Like, you want to, like, sometimes I'll go to a community, hey, can I get you some Starbucks? And again, there is certain communities that I'm gonna put in right now. Lennar and Starlight and LGI. Those three right now. I'm telling you, you gotta, unless you have I actually have really good relationship with a Lennar agent North and a Lennar agent South, to the point that I call them and they're like, I got you, Julie. And so we work that way.
So
But
leverage.
but those three communities, I will say, they're huge on not paying buyers commission if you're not in the first appointment. And
LGI, Starlight,
and Lennar. Those three, I will tell you right now, they are like huge. No. And sometimes, like, if a client goes to DR Horton on their own and they're like, no, yeah, if as long as they don't sign a contract, you can still represent them. DR Horton is really, DR Horton loves their agents. And I will say, I'm one of their top probably 5 agents in the Austin. I love DR Horton. DR Horton takes care of their agents. And when you negotiate, they will come through for you and your client. So I'm just sharing that piece of note. I know we're short on time. I can go on and on.
awesome. Okay, and so the final question, we like to ask all of our mentors. What is one action that you would suggest everyone should put on their calendar for a weekly to do? Some of the suggestions we've had are send 10 gratitude cards weekly, schedule all open houses by Wednesday at 3, door knock weekly 10 homes. What is something that you think agents should consider putting on their calendar and making it a habit weekly?
So again, there's 2 things that changed my business: Builder Boost and Platinum 50. If
What
you
is
don't,
Builder Boost?
Builder Boost is a program where you, as an agent, learn about new communities all over Austin. And you can find them in Facebook and Instagram, Builder Boost. Kim is the owner of the company. And I learned a lot of strategies from new communities through them, and I'm very grateful to them. And also Platinum 50, they kind of do the same thing. They do realtor events. Um, before Builder Boost used to do like tours. And I am going to take this quick minute to say, if you have nothing to do around lunchtime, Manor has a lunch and learn with the superintendent of Manor, and it's for open for all realtors. And events like that are definitely valuable to you because you understand the Manor market. But I would say Builder Boost and Platinum 50, they're free. Sign up, look at their Instagram and Facebook, follow them, and reach out. You're in the most open, giving place you'll ever be. Again, Diller could be doing a lot more things with her time, but guess what? She's choosing to give back. And I'm very grateful to you, and not only to you, to Joe Nevares. I mean, we did not have this amazing program you guys have been able to build, and I'm very grateful for that. And when I get to teach, that's where my passion is. I definitely share everything I know, and that's thanks to people like you guys that provide this platform where I get to do what I love. But thank you
For that. I want to touch on one thing, guys, on Platinum Top 50. I'm so glad you talked about this because none of the interviews have talked about this. Platinum Top 50, you don't have to be a winner or what do they call it? A candidate to attend. And while you're attending these, pull your phone out and take some B-roll. Like, take pictures of the little, the lunch and learns, the sponsors, the whatever, and just post it, because your audience is going to see that you're active not only in the buying and selling of real estate, you're active in your community. And you'll also find your community. I can tell you that my relationship with agents is so important. It helps me get a lot of deals closed. It helps me push through with a lot of negotiations because there's a different level of respect, and they know that we'll hold it together. And I think there's a different tone that comes across. If someone texts me, I'm like, oh, I get it. I just know this agent. That's how their tone is. Or you can actually add a rapport building statement, which is a mutually agreeable fact that you can open with. Julie, I saw you the other day at Platinum 50. How was that steak? Whatever. Wasn't that event so great? And by the way, I'm looking at your listing. Can you tell me this? You want to open your conversations with these mutual agreeable facts and build rapport, and that's going to be helpful. All right, I'm going to hold Julie for 2 more minutes. Anybody have any questions? Remember, if you're driving, please don't type them. Please just start chatting. Any questions? Go for it.
While you get the questions coming up real quick, I do want to say, going back to what you just said, the market will eventually shift. So the market always goes up and down. And those reports, those relationships, I've actually been the one that has gotten an offer in multiples of 10 or 15 offers because of the report I had with the listing agent. She's like, Julie, your offer looked good. You're just a little tab off. And again, it was more like the other 8. She's like, I presented all of the offers, but at the end of the day, the seller makes the decision, but also the sellers ask the agent, who would they rather work with? It matters.
So. Yeah, it definitely matters. And not that there's like this underground network of us agents who all know each other, although, I mean, it's just human nature, right? So right now, my team has 30-something listings, and that means we've got to be married to 30-something bosses, which are the sellers, and there's typically 2 sellers, right? So then now we have 60 people telling us what to do. And then you've got another agent involved, and you want to make sure that agent can also stick to the deal. So now you're going to add 30 other agents. So now you've got 90 people.
Wow. Yeah.
If you start looking at real estate that way, one transaction can have 6 or 7 people involved in it. And you want to make sure that team and the other person is solid, because you also have to make sure your client has faith that you're going to hold it together.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So there's a lot that comes up. And that's also why we do this, so that you know that we're touchable, we're reachable. Be careful where you touch us, but we're touchable. So and that's why I wanted to start doing these interviews, so that you guys can see some of the talent in our market center and break the ice. So if you go up to them, they're more reachable, versus like us being on a stage or a platform or on these panels that we get on. We're right here. We're an arm length away.
Yes, for sure.
The only time I'm not is, you guys know, when I'm doing nap time or bedtime, since I have 2 kids under 2.
Oh, you need plenty of sleep.
Yeah, then I'm like, everyone just be quiet. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Julie. And if you guys have anyone else that you hear about in the market center, shoot them over to me and I will get them scheduled. We have October figured out, so we are looking for November. No calls next week because I am taking the week off for my family to come in town from Germany. So no call next week. I'll see you the week after that. It's Barbie Reyes. She's going to talk about commercial and residential.
Awesome.
So send me your suggestions, and our website will be up soon with all of these recorded calls.
Thank you. Bye.